You know, right now Joanne Bauer is bracing that weather, and she joins us now live from Powerboats in the Park. Joanne, how's it going?
Well, Heidi, we actually have a nice break in our weather. It's a little bit windy. It's kind of cool. You don't have to worry about breaking out in a sweat, but it's not raining at this moment. Even this weather, however, although it's been a little wet throughout the morning, it hasn't dampened the spirits of the racing teams, the drivers, and the many racing fans that are starting to gather around this afternoon. You know, there are more than 40 racing boats on display today. Powerboats in the Park is the showcase event of the Offshore Grand Prix Festival. It's a wonderful opportunity to come out, see the racers up front, see the boats up close. And, you know, there's plenty of food, drink, festivities throughout the day. Organizers, of course, are a little bit concerned about the weather and the impact that it might have on today's festivities. And in just a few minutes, I'm going to be joined by the chair of Powerboats in the Park, Jack Peffley. He'll fill us in on what role the weather might play in today's events, but good news, everything is on schedule, plenty of fun throughout the day, and he'll give us a rundown of everything that you can expect. Now, today, however, at first, I want to bring you up to speed on all of the racing action. World Kilo speed runs. Expected to get off at 8 o'clock this morning. However, the rain caused a delay for the World Kilo speed runs. They did not begin until just about a half hour ago. The speed runs got underway at 11:30. 9 powerboats will try to break world records in the Kilo speed runs today. And of course, on First News on 5 and News 40 at 6, we will have complete results of today's events and bring you up to speed on the World Kilo speed runs. Now, the energy level may be a little bit soggy at St. Armands today, but it is beginning to rev up like some of the powerboat engines here at St. Armands. In fact, I see the sun peeking out right now. Powerboats in the Park will continue until 9 o'clock tonight, so grab your umbrella and don't miss your chance to see these dynamic machines up close. And now, I know it seems a bit wet today, but tomorrow the party really gets wet as it moves to the wet pits at the Hyatt Marina. You can again meet racing teams and see how the powerboats look in the water. That's from 11 a.m. until 10 p.m. But many of you will want to catch the festival's racing action as the Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix Amateur Challenge gets underway. That race kicks off at noon Saturday and will run from New Pass to Big Pass. Now, if you can't make the race, make sure you stay tuned to News 40. We will have live updates bringing you complete coverage. Then on Sunday at noon, and this is a change to the last year's racing schedule, it's the Superboat Challenge. That race will be on Sunday this year. Again, the race course will wind from New Pass to Big Pass. And remember, WWSB Channel 40 will bring you live updates of all the racing action. But all of this excitement is really building toward the Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix, which also kicks off at noon on Sunday. This heart-stopping race will feature the powerboats on display at St. Armands today. And thousands of eager fans are expected to line the beaches to catch the action. This race course will challenge the drivers from New Pass to Point of Rocks. And now don't forget, if you're heading out to catch the races, bring along a portable television. Why not? Because Channel 40 will provide live updates throughout the afternoon from multiple race vantage points. Now, if you are still looking for more information, you can contact the Offshore Grand Prix Festival hotline at 751-1644. There you have it, a complete rundown of all the festivities throughout the day. Now, the weather could prove a little bit threatening, but you know what? It's not. It's clearing. It's looking gorgeous out here right now, Heidi. There's lots happening here today. We'll bring you more details on that, but Heidi, we go back to you with all the news of the day as well.
Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix Festival got off to something of a soggy start this morning. News 40's Linda Carson is now standing by live at Powerboats in the Park at St. Armands Circle. Linda, how's it going?
Neither snow nor freezing rain nor sleet will stop the postman from his appointed rounds. We've got a man here who's more dependable than that. This is the Pretzel King, Jack Hoffman. For 18 years, this man has never missed a festival. Right, Jack?
You are so right, so right. I have enjoyed this thing since 1978, starting with the medieval fair in those days. I came down here from New Jersey to retire, and voila, I became the king of pretzels.
And you're everywhere. What did the lady tell you about heaven that she expected to see?
Yes, a woman who's seen me for so many years said when she dies and goes to heaven, I'll be at the pearly gates selling pretzels.
And I'm sure you will. And yesterday you were everywhere over the 4th of July parade and the torch.
Oh, absolutely. It was downtown for the bed races. Then they had the boat parade. And then they had the fireworks last night. And it was, well, it must have been 250,000 people downtown last night, if I'm any guess of the crowds. And I must have gone through about 40 or 50 dozen pretzels with a crowd down there. And the pickles, oh my God, the pickles go like crazy. These are beautiful, and it's amazing how people seem to love to chew on a pickle while they're at a parade or a festival.
Well, we're just about out of time, Jack. Now, you've been to a lot of festivals. What do you think about the weather? What's your forecast here? What kind of pickle weather is this in pretzel weather?
Oh, it's going to break. The sun is going to come out. I know it. Here it comes. Here it comes. Stand by.
Okay, let's go to our weatherman, John Scalzi, and see what he says.
Well, the weather isn't fully cooperating with power boats in the park today, and the annual showcase event is hampered with rain. And to find out how this will impact today's event and what suggestions organizers have for those who want to take part in the festivities, we're going to return now to St. Armand's Circle, where Joanne Bauer joins us with Power Boats in the Park Chairman Jack Peffley. Joanne?
Heidi, you know, I said there is a bit of a break in the weather, and it's holding true, Jack. Weather definitely is a concern. What kind of an impact do you think it could have today?
I think we'll have a little bit of an impact this afternoon. Hopefully this will clear up. It will still stay very strong throughout the afternoon, and particularly tonight like it always is. As you can see right now, it is clearing. All the boats are out here. We're ready to go.
Now, the day's events are really just getting underway. What is on our agenda for the day? People grab their umbrella, they come on out. What can they expect?
Well, we have over 40 race boats here on display. The drivers are here. The teams are doing interviews, autographs. Have your picture taken on or near their boats. Our entertainment will be starting about 1 o'clock this afternoon, going all evening. Bikini contest at 6 o'clock. Then band starting again, going all the way to 9 o'clock this evening.
So there is a jam-packed agenda of fun if you can brave the weather, and like we've been mentioning, it is clearing. Hopefully it'll stay that way in this area at least. This, of course, is a fundraising event. Some people don't realize that. What do you hope to raise in the amount of funds this year, and how do you hope to spend that?
Our goal again this year is $25,000 from this event, and only this event. That's net proceeds. We've raised over $25,000 each of the last 4 years. That's our goal again for this year. As you know, all the money from this event goes directly to the Suncoast Foundation for the Handicapped.
It's a wonderful event. People really shouldn't miss it. And we are expecting thousands of people to turn out today. Parking is sometimes a concern. What encouragement or words of advice do you have for motorists coming out to St. Armand's today?
Come early. We don't forget we do have a new parking lot behind Charlie's Crab, the new 250-car parking lot back there has been constructed this year. And there's also plenty of parking back in the residential areas also.
Great. It's going to be a gorgeous day. We're
Yes.
being optimistic here at St. Armand's. I know the rain's coming, but so are people. They really are starting to turn out. We look forward to it. Thank you so much for joining us today. Best of luck on this event, and I know you're involved in many of them throughout the weekend, so you're going to be a busy man. Heidi, it really is. People are turning out. I'm seeing more and more cars and more people gather around as we stay here. The weather is doing all right, and again, more than 40 power boats, lots of music, lots of food, lots of drinks. Hope to see everyone come on out and join us.
Great. Okay. Thanks a lot, Joanne. And right now, a good idea. We want to go back one final time to Joanne live at Power Boats in the Park. Joanne?
Heidi, the weather is holding. It is still sprinkling a little bit, but it's at least cool. It's comfortable. There were more than 40 power boats on display today. The racing teams, the drivers themselves are here to meet and greet you. There is plenty of music throughout the day. There is also lots of food and drink, and it'll all go on till 9 o'clock. Hope to see you out here.
Okay, sounds good, Joanne, and we'll see you a little bit later. And we're going to hopefully be out there for First News at 5 and News 40 at 6. If the anchors aren't out there, then we're going to have live reports, so be sure and stay tuned to WWSB Channel 40 for the latest on all the offshore action.
All right, get out there and enjoy it, because I think the heavy rain is over for the afternoon until we see possibly some thunderstorms late at night.
All right, have a good afternoon.
Racers, officials, and media waiting for a break in the clouds that would signal a run for a world speed record. Our Craig Mish has more from Sarasota Bay.
After a 3-hour rain delay, drivers strapped on their helmets and hit the kilo runs.
They're running the outdrives higher, they're running the engines higher RPMs, higher temperatures. It's very easy to explode an engine in a kilometer, which is a short distance. So they'll run today, and then they'll go back and reset the boat up to run in the offshore race.
It's one of the few records that is logged in a national rule book. It's available to the public. It's something that not very many people can ever claim to have, and it'll last forever.
Though there were no record breakers today, the kilo runs provide another kind of exciting competition in the offshore waters. Just a prelude of the real stuff tomorrow. Kevin Benjamin, News 40.
The World Kilo Speed Runs, of course, just one of the events in today's Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix Festival.
That's right, and you know, despite the wet weather, thousands of people are turning out for power boats in the park, the showcase event of this 12th annual Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix Festival.
And that is where we find News 40's Scott Dennis. He joins us now live from St. Armand's Circle. Scott, is the weather holding for you out there?
So far, so good. I wish you all could be out here with us today. It is a great atmosphere, as it always is. You know, this is one of my favorite events of this whole festival week. Beside the races themselves on the weekend, this event has it all. It has entertainment. It has all the boats around us here at St. Armand's Circle. Let's take some look at some video of earlier today, some of the events going on around here. There's over 40 power boats here at the power boats at St. Armand's. They're surrounding the park. And then within the park itself is a stage and band playing and music and food, and I can smell the food right now, and it smells awfully good. But the great opportunity of this event is the fact that you can come out here and not only see these boats close up, but talk with the race teams and the drivers and the throttlemen and find out what the experience is like to drive one of these boats at over 100 miles an hour. And of course, all of these boats will be out here racing this weekend with the Offshore Challenge tomorrow. That'll be the amateur boats, and then a change this year, they're going to include the A-class boats into that race. And then on Sunday, of course, we'll have all the super boats, the open class, and then right down the line, all the different sizes and speeds of boats. So those are all going to be out here this weekend. But for now, they're here at Power Boats at St. Armand's, and we'll bring you more out here in a little bit. Joe, Heidi?
Okay.
Well, a happy note to share with you now, the heart and soul of the Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix Festival.
It's the Suncoast Foundation for the Handicapped, which receives 100% of the proceeds of the Offshore Festival. And standing by live at Power Boats at St. Armand's is our Jackie Barron to tell us how this great event assists those in need in our hometown. We're going to talk to Jackie in just a little bit. Right now, we're going to show you some of that of the foundation.
They're racing with a goal, and the goal is that by what they're doing, that they're really helping people that are less fortunate than them.
The Suncoast Foundation for the Handicapped has built 4 buildings for the Child Development Center, including the Center for Independent Living and a play area for the children.
No, not on me. I'm not in the pool.
The CDC offers early intervention for children up to 5 years old with emotional and physical disabilities.
By identifying children very early, we're able to reduce or often eliminate a handicapping condition.
It offers 6 different day treatment programs and is the only facility of its kind in the state. Offshore dollars pay the rent, leaving all other funding sources available for therapy.
The prognosis was bleak at best, and they took a little kid who was very low functioning and they turned her into a normal, healthy 4-year-old.
That's why it's so important that this community recognize what a tremendous value and benefit it is, not only to the businesses to have this boat race here, but to the many, many children that get help because of the boat races.
You like it? Yeah.
Offshore dollars raised last year built a more than $200,000 home at the Children's Haven and Adult Learning Center. 7 disabled adults, displaced as the result of a closing facility, now have a new home and a new family.
I always get nervous about moving into a new home.
Access is everything. You know, they get a shot in life that they just really wouldn't have gotten otherwise.
Children ready for school and adults ready for work. The Suncoast Foundation for the Handicapped, making Sarasota a success. The story of Scarlet Whaley, like you just saw there, is an amazing one, and one that is told 100 times over thanks to the Suncoast Foundation for the Handicapped. The festival organizer formed the foundation 12 years ago specifically to handle all the monies raised from festival activities to benefit handicapped children and adults in our area. Now, the important thing to remember here is that if you come out here and buy a $12 t-shirt, then $12 goes to the Suncoast Foundation for the Handicapped. And more importantly than that is that for every dollar you spend, they generate $1 in in-kind services. So you get to double your money for a good cause. I can't think of a better way to spend some cash than that. Joanne, Heidi?
Right, Jackie.
Well, Bob, now's your chance to tell us that the weather will hold. How's it doing out there?
Well, right now it's been just great at the present time, although there are some showers, pretty strong ones, just offshore about 50 miles, but Looks like the next couple of hours should be all right, so I think this broadcast will be okay. But it has been intermittent light rainfall out here throughout the day today. As you can tell, Joanne, you were out here at noon. It hasn't been all that heavy, and they've had a pretty good crowd show up. I can attest to that because driving over the bridge just about 10 minutes ago, it was packed all the way from downtown down to the circle here. So a lot of people still enjoying the music out in the background. It's happening here at Powerboats at the park. Let's take a look at what's going on right now with our current conditions as we see them. Temperature right now, 82 degrees. By the way, there are a lot of different kinds of boats here, different shapes and sizes. It's kind of hard and difficult to really find out who is what division, what is going on with it. Well, I did some reading and research. This package may help you a little bit for the races this Sunday.
You have the catamaran, B-hull, outboard, inboard, modified, and super boats. They are all here this weekend to bring thrilling excitement to the Suncoast. They come in all different colors, shapes, and sizes, from the 50-foot-long slick power boats down to the mini boats, which our own Scott Dennis raced in earlier this week. Although these machines seem to be very unique in their own way, they all have one thing in common: speed. The superboats are hard not to miss. With their sleek aerodynamic look, they always provide the race fan with plenty of excitement. With up to 3,000 horsepower engines blasting them through the water, they can reach speeds of up to 145. Although the APBA does not recognize these awesome machines for the upcoming race, they come to Sarasota, the jewel of the offshore racing world, for pleasure, enjoyment, and most of all, a great cause. The open class boats are just as grand as the super boats. Limited to about 1,800 horses, they still pack quite a punch. They range in size from about 35 to 50 feet in length. Numbering on the sides separate these boats from the rest. They can top out at 125. These are the modified. You can identify them by the letter M on the side. The minimum is 30 feet and can top out at 110 miles an hour. Now that's fast, especially on water. This 32-foot catamaran is just one of the boats that will be racing this weekend. Boats of all shapes and sizes will be racing to beat one thing: the difficulties faced by the handicap in our community. Offshore fever is very much alive and strong, with about 9 races on Sunday. Look for the A, B, C, and D class races. They vary in power, length, and size, but will offer plenty of fun and excitement.
This is a new sporty Suncoast Offshore update, brought to you by your Suncoast Toyota dealers.
Hello and welcome to Channel 40's live coverage of the Sarasota Offshore Grand Prix. I'm Craig Mish atop the Lido Beach Holiday Inn. Can it get any better than this? It's almost 12 o'clock, time for race time, and I know everyone's excited about that. Kathy Winkler down on the beach, still practicing her electric slide. She'll be back next hour to give us a lot more updates and see what's going on there for the family and fun on the beach. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to take you through exactly what we're going to do throughout the day. And the first thing we'll do is we'll take a look at today's course. Now remember, today's course is the smaller course, and it's not exactly what we'll be seeing tomorrow. Of course, it goes through Big Pass and New Pass, and all the boats are going to be coming this way very shortly. But of course, it is 12 o'clock, so that means we have about 5 minutes. And the best viewing area, well, Lido Beach. We're right here. And that, of course, you can see right off the beach. Everyone's still gathering down here. We don't have as many people as we would like, but I would expect pretty shortly it will be pretty nice. And if we can come back and take a look exactly what it looks like here on Lido Beach, it's pretty beautiful. The weather is really shaping up. Everyone's gathered here, sitting along the sides. The boats now just starting to make their way around to the area, and I would imagine that they'll be out here pretty soon. We'll be giving you race updates and all kinds of score updates throughout the day. But for now, what we're going to do is also talk a little bit about the party that's going on. And of course, you can catch that at the Hyatt and the Wet Pits. Starting at 11 a.m., fun for the family, fun for everyone. You can go out, take a look at all the boats. There'll be drinks, eateries, food, whatever you can possibly imagine. And it'll be a good time. And regardless if you can't make it out there or if you can't make it out to the Wet Pits, don't forget to stay tuned to Channel 40, the official station of the Sarasota Offshore Grand Prix, where we will be giving you live updates on the hour, 11, 12, 1, 2, and 3, giving you race scores, and of course Kathy Winkler down on the beach will give you, I guess, all the fun things you can imagine if she ever makes it off the electric slide and starts talking to all the people down there. We'll be really excited to see that. But for now, what we're going to do is go back to our regularly scheduled program in progress, and I'll be back next hour for more updates. Thanks a lot.
This Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix update has been brought to you by your Suncoast Toyota dealers. This is a new sporty Suncoast Offshore update brought to you by your Suncoast Toyota dealers.
Once again, this is Craig Mish reporting live at the Sarasota Offshore Grand Prix. What you're looking at is the view from the 6th floor of the Lido Beach Holiday Inn, and unfortunately we don't have good news to report at this time. What there is a rescue effort going on There was one boat that apparently was in the race, and there is currently, the racer is in the water. They have currently sent one diver down to assist the person who was injured. We heard earlier that it may be someone with a back injury and was unable to come out. They did send a basket down, and we do believe that he is currently being tended to within the helicopter. But nothing is confirmed at this point. But once again, we are coming to you live here on Channel 40 from the Sarasota Offshore Grand Prix with this update. Once again, we're here at Lido Beach, and all the races are over with, so there's no boats currently in the water. There's a couple of race boats making their way back to the checkpoint and going over to the wet pits, where there's going to be different things going on there later on. But none of the boats are in the water, so they're pretty much, the helicopter is within safety, and the divers can attend to the racer. The small boat in the center of the picture that you're looking at is the one that they're apparently trying to help the crew member out of, but we're not sure what his injury is at this point. The helicopter is hovering and waiting to reattach the basket so they can bring it back as a backup and hopefully lift him up and bring him up to the helicopter where he will go for further safety. And of course, we will bring you more information as it becomes available. Right now, just to recap, what we do know is that there is one racer injured that was apparently in the race, and we do not know which racer that was, and we don't know which boat that was as well. But we are coming to you live with this update here on Channel 40 from the Sarasota Offshore Grand Prix to let you know of this accident that has happened, and as soon as we get more information on it, we will catch you up and bring you all the info you need. And you're looking at it at your screen as the rescue boat goes down, and he's been there, I guess, for about 30 minutes now. The rescue effort has been going on, probably even more time than that, maybe about 45 minutes. And the Grand Prix race has been relatively accident-free. And it's pretty much a rarity that we would see something like this out here. And coming into your screen probably in a couple minutes is a couple jet skiers going by, pretty much unaware of the fact that there's been an accident deeper out into the Gulf of Mexico. Every year they run to help prepare for these kind of things, and usually they've been pretty good about it. And as you can see, the rescue effort started pretty much immediately. We knew about this about 45 minutes ago. And as soon as we did, Kathy Winkler brought you that update out on the beach that there had been someone who was injured and currently in the water with a back injury. But right now what they're doing is trying to get that person to safety, and hopefully we'll find out exactly what the injury is. Once again, we thought it was a back injury. We don't know, and that is unconfirmed at this time. The U.S. Coast Guard helicopter is still hovering over the boat, as you can see. There is another chopper within the vicinity. We're not sure what that chopper is. It looks like it may be some sort of media vehicle of some time. Not many boats left out there. Pretty much everyone's head out to the wet pits. And as you can see, as we continue to look, yeah, still got two choppers, and we still have someone injured. And unfortunately, we don't know any more information at this point. But when we do know, we will cut back and bring you whatever we do have. And we want to thank you for joining us. This is Craig Mish reporting live at Channel 40 from the Sarasota Offshore Grand Prix, where there has been an accident. Someone is currently in the water, and the divers are bringing him to rescue. And we'll now return to our regularly scheduled program.
This Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix update has been brought to you by your Suncoast Toyota dealers.
Good evening, I'm Linda Carson. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. Topping our news, the Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix continues with the A-Class Offshore Challenge, and a reminder that no matter how easy those drivers make it look, powerboat racing is a high-risk activity. As News 40's Jason Howell reports, high speeds and rough water landed a Class A racer from Winter Park in the hospital.
It's the type of race day drama powerboat racers would rather avoid.
We were running good and just hit wrong. And just something that happens out there.
Troy Hamilton says 28-year-old Tim Hoffaker, navigator of the A-Class Sunshine, screamed after the boat hit rough water off Lido Beach. Rescuers suspected spinal injuries. Choppy water on the Gulf made it dangerous to transport Hoffaker by boat.
Because of the nature of his injuries, we could not tow him in. We were worried about sustaining any kind of further spinal injury. So we brought in a Coast Guard Black Hawk helicopter.
Coast Guard rescuers lowered a basket onto the Sunshine, pulled him up into the helicopter, and flew him to the hot pits at Centennial Park. Hoffaker was loaded onto a Bayflight helicopter and flown to Bayfront Medical Center in St. Petersburg. When you're out there on the water at those speeds, the threat of injury or even death is always present. But drivers say that's something they can avoid with a little common sense.
Just try to be careful and make sure you know what you're doing, you know. You don't go out there and race all hungover or nothing like that. You have your wits about you. And fortunately, things happen. That's racing, I guess.
But it helps to temper that fatalism with optimism.
He'll be okay. He'll be back racing.
Kind of like getting back on a horse after you're thrown. At Centennial Park, Jason Howe, News 40.
But while Hoppecker may race again, it probably won't be this weekend. Race organizers say that he probably broke several ribs in this accident. He's in stable condition right now at Bayfront Medical Center. But the Coast Guard was busy this afternoon with other rescues too. A boat full of spectators got a little bit closer to the action than they had intended to. The boat began taking on water near Big Pass. The Coast Guard Auxiliary rescued 9 people from the water. No injuries were reported. The winning boats all head back to the wet pits at the Sarasota Hyatt Marina for a big victory celebration. News 40's Kathy Winkler joins us live from there now, where the party at the wet pits is in full swing. Kathy, what's going on out there?
Well, Linda, things are just heating up here at the wet pits, and even a little rain earlier couldn't stop this party. There's music, fun, food, and even the chance to meet some of the drivers of these guys. But if things are heating up now, they started simmering this afternoon at the beach. Even though today's race was on the water, there was plenty of action beachside. In fact, people came from all over the country for the weekend. This man came from Mobile, Alabama.
Well, our daughter told us you were having the boat races this week down here, and we figured it'd be a good weekend to come down, see the kids, and spend the weekend at the beach.
Others made the trip, but were busy with other pressing business. Did you actually see the boats?
Yeah.
You look pretty busy building the sandcastle. How'd you have the time?
Yeah.
But all the builders, demolishers, and game players made up a crowd that made today a little difficult for lifeguards.
Having a rough day, rougher than usual. We're extra vigilant, of course. And our swim area being adjacent to Big Pass, we've got tidal currents that we have to keep an eye on. An incoming tide like it is now tends to pull our swimmers toward Big Pass, and we got to really stay on top of that.
Still, they managed to have the best seat in the house. Sports crews also had some good seats. Scott Dennis was out in one of the boats. Craig Mish was high atop the Holiday Inn Lido Beach, and they'll have the results of the Offshore Challenge in our sports section. Now, Linda, this party is still going on, and it'll be going on until about 10 o'clock tonight.
So there's still plenty of time to get down there, huh, Kathy?
Plenty of time, so come on down.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Thanks a lot, Kathy.
Now, News 40 Sports with Kevin Benjamin.
As promised, continuing coverage of the Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix along the Gulf of Mexico. Let's go to the wet pits and sports director Scott Dennis. Scott, nice job out there. How did everything go today?
Well, Kevin, as we saw earlier in the show, this sport of offshore racing can be dangerous, but we're glad to report that the gentleman that was injured in the amateur race today is doing well in the hospital. The story of the day was the rough seas on the Gulf of Mexico, about 4-foot swells rolling in off the Gulf, and that made for some interesting times on the water today. On the seas today, the amateurs, of course, 5 different classes there, and the professionals, Offshore A and Offshore AX. Craig Mish has all the story from the Gulf of Mexico.
40 boats, 7 checkered flags. Saturday's Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix action didn't have picture-perfect weather, okay, and it didn't have relatively smooth waters, but the boats didn't disappoint. Despite the conditions, and talk about impressive, from the amateurs to the pros, high speeds and air time dominated the racers. On the amateur side, Team Hardcore excelled and captured the Offshore Challenge B division. And straight out of the New York, the Bronx Phantom, one of the biggest boats in the competition, took the C category. The only unusual part to the day's racing was when early on, nearly a dozen boats missed a checkpoint, or so it seemed. We'll leave that one to the referees. And just when you thought it was safe to call the water weekend quits Sunday at noon, the green flag will be waved once again. On Sarasota Bay, Craig Mish, News 40 Sports.
All right, thanks, Craig. Let's take a look at these standings. These are now official, and they've only been official within the last 20 minutes or so because some of the boats in A class missed a marker. during the race. That means they went down a lap, and so the standings did change. But finishing first, and I love this name, the Fantasies. Good boat there, finishing first in A-class. And in AX, really the fastest boats out there today was Baby, and finishing in second, a local boat, Mark Flamigio and Bill McComb finishing second in Rain-X. They had some mechanical problems out on the water today. In the official results from the Suncoast Offshore Amateur Offshore Challenge, in exhibition class, these were really, I love how Gene Whip called these are pleasure superboats. That's a lot of pleasure. That's a lot of speed to take out there. Finishing first, Powerboat Magazine and a big fountain. In D, it's first, the Dealer. Another fast boat. In C-class, Bronx Phantom. One of the men on board here is actually a plumber in the Bronx, New York. In B-class, finishing first, Team Hardcore Ecstasy, a local boat, finishing second. And in A-class, in the amateur race, High Voltage takes first place. And in third, a Sarasota boat, Don't Blink. So congratulations to them. Kevin, the rain is falling down here on the wet pitch right now. It's been threatening for about the last hour, but it's not going to dampen our enthusiasm. Remember, tomorrow we'll be on the air with live updates at 11 a.m. and throughout the day to keep you up to date on the Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix, the 12th annual. And if you want to listen on radio, I'll be there along with Gene Whip on 1450 WSPB AM. So we've got you covered tomorrow. We ask all of you to enjoy the races. Kevin?
All right, thanks, Scott. Racing, of course, at its best right here on the Suncoast.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Celebrating 12 years of offshore racing tradition, this is a News 40 Suncoast Offshore Special. Brought to you by your Suncoast Toyota dealers.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Scott Dennis.
And I'm Nancy White. We are right in the middle of the Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix Festival weekend, and there's so much going on, we have no time to waste.
So fasten your seatbelt and let's get started with today's race, the Offshore Challenge. Our Craig Mish reports from the Gulf of Mexico.
40 boats, 7 checkered flags. Saturday's Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix action didn't have picture-perfect weather, okay, and it didn't have relatively smooth waters, but the boats didn't disappoint. Despite the conditions, and talk about impressive, from the amateurs to the pros, high speeds and air time dominated the racers. On the amateur side, Team Hardcore excelled and captured the Offshore Challenge B division. And straight out of the New York, the Bronx Phantom, one of the biggest boats in the competition, took the C category. The only unusual part to the day's racing was when early on, nearly a dozen boats missed a checkpoint, or so it seemed. We'll leave that one to the referees. And just when you thought it was safe to call the water weekend quits Sunday at noon, the green flag will be waved once again. On Sarasota Bay, Craig Mish, News 40 Sports.
There was also an injury during today's amateur race and a dramatic rescue. Our Linda Carson will have details on that during News 40 immediately following this offshore special.
Yes, there are risks involved with racing these high-speed power boats, but as our Anne-Marie Miles found out, danger is an accepted part of the sport.
Dozens of raceboat drivers are participating in the Offshore Grand Prix this year, risking their lives for the thrill of speed, and they have some serious speed. But why do they like it so much?
It's a rush.
But in spite of the thrills, the sport does have its dangers. Just last year, these two boats collided, causing the Grand Prix's first major accident in 12 years. But just like last year, rescue teams are ready to respond.
In that moment, they stop the race immediately, and the divers and rescue people converge on the area, along with all the medical boats that are assigned to the race also.
But it's also important that the racers feel safe.
There are safety crews on the course at each turn, and of course they'll be there and helicopters in the air. So it's to stay close to the boat and help out your teammate.
Not only is racing dangerous for the drivers of these high-speed boats, but it can also be dangerous for a careless spectator. Areas for spectators and boats are marked with white, orange, and red buoys. The 3 areas available to the public are Big Pass, New Pass, and if you're coming from Venice, there's an area south of Point of Rocks.
We also provide tow and patrol boats that'll be policing that area to make sure that as the people get out there to get their front row seat, they get a great seat, but also on the correct side.
It's important for fans to stay within these designated areas because the entire course is patrolled, and violators will get a ticket and may even face an arrest. In Sarasota, Anne-Marie Miles, News 40.
Well, the Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix is much more than just a race.
It's also a major financial boon to the Suncoast. As News 40's Heidi Godman shows us, the event brings millions to our economy.
They rocket across Suncoast waters and drench us with dollars.
Economically, probably the biggest thing that happens, and I'm told the biggest thing on the west coast of Florida now.
The wake of the big boat sets off an economic tidal wave worth at least $16 million. A hefty chunk from airline tickets and rental cars, a bigger chunk from hotel and motel sales as race fans pack the beaches for the best seats in the house.
It's by far the biggest weekend we'll have all year. Actually, it's more like a week than a weekend. We fill up on the 4th, and we'll be full straight through Sunday night.
The Offshore also makes a multi-million-dollar splash in restaurants, whipping the normally slow summer business into a food and drink frenzy, especially during power boats in the park. Cha-Cha Coconuts counts on it for a nest egg to last all summer long.
Over 100,000 people come out on the one day when we have power boats on the circle, and it just increases our business. It's our busiest day of the year.
The event in St. Armands is also a real boon to the shops that line the circle, increasing customer traffic triple-fold and boosting sales by a hefty %.
Probably 20% in sales, and then people do come back, so it's an excellent for us.
Total racer and spectator spending about $4 million, with a trickle-down effect throughout our whole town worth another $7 million. It's a winning situation for everyone involved and a financial victory for our hometown. Heidi Godman, News 40.
And over the past 12 years, the festival has also generated millions of dollars for the area's handicapped.
And it's the festival volunteers who make that possible. News 40's Linda Carson has their story.
$3 million for the Suncoast Foundation for the Handicapped, up to $20 million a year in additional business for our city. That's what the Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix brings to our community. None of this would be possible without the volunteers.
With the races alone, takes somewhere between 12 and 1,500 volunteers. And then when you think about the 9 days of festival activities starting last week with the golf tournament and going all the way through, I'm sure we're well over 2,500 to 3,000 volunteers.
Whoop says that's what's unique about Sarasota. People are willing and anxious to pitch in.
We're serving lunches to the people who do the caravans, who are bringing the runners back and who are making sure that everything's going well.
We helped them set up the stage over there where the Olympic torch is, and we've hung the banner up, and we got caught in a rain shower.
Volunteering is not for the faint of heart. These people have been out here since 8 o'clock this morning. They started out sweeping the streets, then they set up the food carts. Now they're taping signs on cars for the parade. Next, they've got to run down and set up the fireworks. So if you're going to volunteer, you've got to be willing to get your hands dirty. Besides the races, volunteers work on everything from the bed race to the special celebration at the Red Sox game to the Offshore Kids Fishing Tournament. And they say they get more out of it than they give.
You can donate money to things, but when you actually come in and put your hands on and help the kids, load them on the boat, help them catch the fish, I think it's a moving experience.
This $225,000 group home was built for $101,000.
Because we had $125,000 worth of in-kind labor and material donated by different contractors and building supply places in Sarasota.
So to the Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix volunteers, we salute you. Linda Carson, News 40.
We sure do salute them.
Yeah.
They're great. Well, there's more to come on News 40 Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix Special.
Stay tuned. We'll be zooming back at you in just a moment.
Has grown into a world-class sporting event since it began 12 years ago.
But it's also an excuse for a world-class party. Kathy Winkler reports on the fan frenzy.
Even though today's race was on the water, there was plenty of action beachside. Did you actually see the boats?
Yeah.
You look pretty busy building the sandcastle. How'd you have the time?
Yeah.
True fans from all over the country braved the traffic to take part in the festival atmosphere at the beach. Why did you pick this weekend to come to Sarasota?
Well, our daughter told us you were having the boat races this week down here, and we figured it'd be a good weekend to come down, see the kids, and spend the weekend at the beach.
The party atmosphere didn't end there. Once the races were over, the festival atmosphere spilled over into the wet pits.
She's my baby, though. She goes swimming with me, she goes to the mall, she goes to restaurants, she goes everywhere.
So you think she'll be back again next year?
Oh, yeah, definitely. She'll be bigger, but she'll be back.
Where fans, even unique ones, had the chance to see the winning boats.
Every year we come out here, and this year it's especially wet.
But do you only come out for the party, or you watch the boat races too?
No, this is an all-weekend thing. We look forward to 4th of July, powerboats in the park, wet pits, and then we go to the races tomorrow to finish it off.
And aside from the food, fun, and music, there was even a chance for future racers to size up the competition.
We've got a racing boat, ooh la la, so as she told you, it turns better times than most of them we've seen so far posted today. So
How come you're not out here this weekend then?
we got here a little bit late.
But rain or shine, there's one thing for sure. Most will be back tomorrow. Kathy Winkler, News 40.
That's right, it's not over yet. The main event of this festival, the Grand Prix race, is still ahead.
It starts at noon tomorrow, and we'll have live coverage all day long right here on WWSB Channel 40, your official Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix Festival television station.
So enjoy the racing tomorrow. So long for now, and stay tuned for News 40. That's coming up next.
As the Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix's main event got underway, a powerboat careens around a turn and into a nearby boat full of spectators. The D-Class Ocean Spray Crave the Wave was rounding a turn off Siesta Key when it slid into a boat marking the bend in the course. 3 spectators on board the turnboat were thrown to the deck, and they were taken to Sarasota Memorial Hospital with moderate injuries.
I don't know if it got caught up in the wake or what, but it was spin and got the bow up on the bow of the yacht up there, and you can see if you get a close-up of it, there's a big chunk taken out of that yacht.
The most seriously hurt was, as of yet, an unnamed 7-year-old girl. She broke her arm in that collision, and also injured 80-year-old Harry Bessie with a bruised ribs, 16-year-old Erica LaFrance. She's complaining of pain in her hip, her knee, and her right forearm. Well, despite 2 boating accidents during the Offshore Grand Prix races this weekend, organizers say the event has been a huge success.
The incident was one of those things that just happens to happen, and thank goodness that no one was seriously injured. The boats can be fixed, and it sounds like the people are going to be fine.
And thousands of spectators hit the beach today also, and that was before those boats ever hit the water. News 40's Jackie Barron joins us live from the Victory Circle. Jackie, how did the Grand Prix fare offshore today?
They did a great job, and everyone's having a wonderful time tonight, as you can tell here, Linda, as they did earlier today when beach blankets went down and parking spaces filled up early, actually almost 4 hours before the Grand Prix even got underway. The Fiesta at Siesta took place under cloudy, hazy skies, but the powerboats didn't have any problem whipping everyone into a real racing frenzy.
They packed coolers, carried chairs, snapped open umbrellas, and dug holes today on Siesta Key, setting up camp to catch the last day of Grand Prix action.
What are you
pack to bring to the beach?
Everything. Camera, toys, sunscreen, more toys, clothes, books, toys, drinks, chips, cookies, lots of water.
Lots of water and plenty of sunscreen. Beachgoers used both to brave the elements, some more than others. Now, how much sunscreen do you have on?
16.
Do you think that's enough?
I don't know. I'm over from England, so we'll see.
How much sunscreen do you have on?
2.
2.
That's it, yeah.
Do you need protection, you think?
I don't know. I've never had any trouble yet.
Wish I knew what boat was what.
But today, binoculars were the tool of choice as helicopters flew low and powerboats bounced off waves, holding the crowd's attention.
Class, and then as right now is going by, it is the 0 defect now.
Isn't it wonderful that it's not so sunny and hot today, so everybody gets to enjoy the boat race.
And I was out on a corner boat there one year, keeping track of them, but that's a hard job, trying to keep track of those boats.
I think it's fantastic. It's the first time I've seen it. I've only lived here a couple of years. I love it.
The Offshore Grand Prix even garnered the support of a young celebrity. What do you think about all this out here today?
It's great. I love it. We come here every year to watch the races.
What do you think about the races? You don't think those boats are too big?
Never.
What do you think about the boats?
I think they're neat. I especially like the paint jobs on them.
What do you think when those boats go zoom past?
I think it's pretty cool.
Linda, as you can tell, the Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix is getting high marks from everyone for the 12th year in a row. Of course, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Scott Dennis will rejoin us live again a little later in the newscast from the Victory Circle. And of course, we'll have all the latest in the racing results and highlights from Kevin Benjamin and Craig Mish. Linda?
Thanks, Jackie. Looks like quite a day out there.
Now, News 40 Sports with Kevin Benjamin.
The final day of one of the best weeks of the year as Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix action comes to an end. The weather holding up, and so is our own sports director, Scott Dennis. Scott's at the wet pits for the awards ceremony. How's it going out there, Scott?
Kevin, we've just wrapped up. We've been handing out trophies all about the last hour. You can see there's no more trophies left because we've handed them all out. The ceremony just ending as we spoke today. But we got to show you how all those trophies were won today. So let's go to News 40's Craig Mish, who was following the action all day long from the Gulf of Mexico. Craig?
As the green flags are waved, they took off fast and furious. The excitement on the waters for this last day of offshore racing is immeasurable. Once again, 7 classes of boats hit the waters and 7 checkered flags were hoisted high. Sarasota scores a victory once again with the Grand Prix, and all of the racers had a ball.
Sarasota is one of the finest races here in the state. The racers love to come here. The fans love it. The weather's always great. The Hyatt and the Sarasota Offshore Grand Prix Association do a great job, and we really love this event. It's one of the top events on our schedule.
And when you talk about winners, go no further than 0 defect. The 45-foot monster stays undefeated for the year, capturing the open class title.
The conditions were in our favor today, and our combination worked real well. We had 2 to 3 foot seas, maybe a little bit bigger, and the boat once again ran exceptional.
The Offshore B class spelled domination for Everglades Executioner, and a couple of Sarasota boats, Rain Express and the Muscle, finished 2nd and 3rd. Cutting Edge cut its way to the top of the stock class, and Jack Carmody's Spirit of Texas took the modified class. Only 3 boats competed, and 2 completed the Offshore D class. Pepsi Taco Bell, your winner there. And in the July 4th Spirit, Patriot takes the Pro Outboard class.
Number 7.
Saving the best for last, the Superboat class summed up the entire weekend with a fantastic finish.
Well, we always knew that ultimately the race was going to be between us and Enough Respect, and Bobby ran a really smart race, and he has those 4 engines, and at the end it was just a little too much for us. And we tried to build up a lead throughout the race to hold them off, and we just couldn't build up a big enough lead.
What a weekend of racing. I guess you could say the only downside is that we have to wait another year to see these boats go at it again. In Sarasota, Craig Mish, News 40 Sports.
Thanks, Craig, and I can't wait till it's here again. And let's go right through our winners real quick. In Superboat, Enough Respect, just nipping Elkhorn for first place in Super. In Open Class, 0 defect, undefeated this year. They take yet another win. In Modified, Spirit of Texas, M11 takes first. In Pro Outboard, the Patriot boat running a close race with Harmsco Hurricane, but it is Patriot taking first place. In Stock, Cutting Edge S9, the first place winner. In Offshore D, Pepsi Taco Bell, the first place vote. And where do you think they're eating tonight? Offshore C, in first, Harrah's Megabucks. The 3-time world champions win again here in Sarasota. And in Offshore B, Everglades Executioner, the B2 boat. He wins again here in Sarasota. Joining me now is the race chairman, Gene Whipp. Gene, we talked all day on the radio about what a great race this was. We had one little incident today down by the Point of Rocks. I know you have some good news to report on that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's great news. And I mean, we had a great event. We had an incident, and Dennis Segalis, with the driver in the boat, you know, those guys, obviously, as we know by now, they hit one of our turnboats, and they didn't really hit it. They had a very violent spin while racing for first place, and they hooked into the pace boat or the turnboat. Of course, the first reports we heard were kind of bleak about injuries, and of course, when you have a race boat that hits something like that, you never know. But they just personally have checked in the hospital. They feel so badly as racers because certainly it was one of those things that just happens to happen. And the great news is from the hospital that everybody is going to be released yet tonight. Right. And we're just thrilled with that kind of result because we know that the other driver injured yesterday was released this afternoon. A lot of bumps and bruises, a great event. The kids are the winner, and you know, and the drivers were standing here giving the money back again as they always do.
That is amazing how they take the check and then they hand it right back to you. That's what this event is about.
Tonight here at the awards, we probably collected about $30,000 with the Superboat Challenge and with the other checks back. And they just love Sarasota. They love the town. You in the town, you got to be proud because these racers come here just because you come out and support it. And I have to look and say one more time, thank you to all the volunteers. Thank you to you guys. Thank you to everybody because certainly it's the entire town that makes this thing happen.
Thank you too, Gene. You put this show on the map here. Thanks, buddy. We'll do it again next year. Good. Kevin, let's wrap it up. The lawn week is over, and we had a great race today.
Definitely. Thanks a lot, Scott and Craig and the rest of the News 40 crew. Great weekend. Can't wait till next year.
And in the Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix is winding to a close tonight, but not without some close scrapes in the last few minutes. As News 40's Jason Howell reports, a spectacular collision injured 3 people in the Offshore's main event.
We were coming for their port side of their boat, and we were coming like straight into it, and I thought we were just going to go through it.
Ocean Spray's D-Class Crave the Wave didn't go through the boat, marking a turn in the race course. But 3 spectators on board the turnboat were thrown to the deck. The most seriously hurt was 80-year-old Harry Bessie, with injuries to his ribs. Also injured, 16-year-old Erica LaFrance, who complained of pain in her hip, knee, and right forearm. Erica's 12-year-old sister was examined and released at Sarasota Memorial Hospital.
There was plenty of people there to make sure that the people were safe and out of the racetrack's way.
The Ocean Spray crew was not injured. Crave the Wave limped back into the hot pits at Centennial Park with an 8-foot gash in its hull. It was a chance for Segalos and the Newport Beach, California-based crew to go over exactly what happened.
That turnboat was literally 5 to 10 feet off of that pillow there, which is way, way too close. I'm not going to say it's his fault. I mean, if we wouldn't have hooked, none of this would have ever happened.
With the impact, Crave the Wave went part way up over the other boat, and Savalos says that if it had gone over the top, things could have been much worse.
If we would have done that, there would have been people killed. You know, propellers on these things are very sharp and very heavy.
Segalos says he's not yet sure how long or how much it will take to repair the boat. At Centennial Park, Jason Howe, News 40.
All 3 people who were injured in that crash have now been released from the hospital.
Welcome to the one and only sports final, the best of today's sports in a nutshell. The excitement comes to an end for the 12th annual Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix, and we'll get right to it as News 40's Craig Mish has more on the final day of racing.
Flags are waved, they took off fast and furious. The excitement on the waters for this last day of offshore racing is immeasurable. Once again, 7 classes of boats hit the waters and 7 checkered flags were hoisted high. Sarasota scores a victory once again with the Grand Prix, and all of the racers had a ball.
Sarasota is one of the finest races here in the state. The racers love to come here. The fans love it. The weather's always great. The Hyatt and the Sarasota Offshore Grand Prix Association do a great job, and we really love this event. It's one of the top events on our schedule.
And when you talk about winners, go no further than Zero Defect. The 45-foot monster stays undefeated for the year, capturing the open class title.
The conditions were in our favor today, and our combination worked real well. We had 2 to 3 foot seas, maybe a little bit bigger, and the boat once again ran exceptional.
The Offshore B class spelled domination for Everglades Executioner, and a couple of Sarasota boats, Rain Express and the Muscle, finished 2nd and 3rd. Cutting Edge cut its way to the top of the stock class, and Jack Carmody's Spirit of Texas took the modified class. Only 3 boats competed, and 2 completed the Offshore D class. Pepsi Taco Bell, your winner there. And in the July 4th spirit, Patriot takes the Pro Outboard class.
Number 7.
Saving the best for last, the Superboat class summed up the entire weekend with a fantastic finish.
Well, we always knew that ultimately the race was going to be between us and Enough Respect, and Bobby ran a really smart race, and he has those 4 engines, and at the end it was just a little too much for us. And we tried to build up a lead throughout the race to hold them off, and we just couldn't build up a big enough lead.
What a weekend of racing. I guess you could say the only downside is that we have to wait another year to see these boats go at it again. In Sarasota, Craig Mish, News 40 Sports.
All right, thanks, Craig, and everybody here at Channel 40 who helped out this past week. Thank you very much. On to the results. Again, Superboat class, Enough Respect wins that one. Open class, Zero Defect comes in first. In the modified class, the Spirit of Texas takes first place. In the Pro Outboard class, Patriot is first. Stock class, Cutting Edge comes in first place. The Offshore D class has Pepsi Taco Bell winning. The Offshore C class has Harrah's Megabucks taking first place. The Offshore B class, Everglades Executioner, Rain-X Express from Sarasota, and the Muscle in third, also from Sarasota.